Hey, nerdy sports fan here. We're talking Week 10 NFL action. We've got the Seattle Seahawks going to see the San Francisco 49ers on what is sure to be the only Monday Night Football game I actually enjoyed watching this season. Monday Night Football's been terrible. So a game like this is just so damn juicy. I don't know what to do with myself. They're very good teams, and they're fighting for the division. San Francisco's undefeated, and they're playing at home. That's big. But Seattle's got, right now the odds-on favorite for the MVP in Russell Wilson. So don't count him out. Do I think San Francisco's gonna win? Yeah, sure. Do I think it's going to be gaudy, one-sided kind of numbers? Absolutely not. This is going to be a dogfight. They're tough teams. And they have good staffs. They've got good leadership. Seattle's definitely got the better quarterback. But by how much? And San Francisco's definitely got the better defense. But by how much? And that's why they play the games. So, San Francisco's got this running back by committee West Coast offense going really, really well. Fantasy football-wise, terrible. The only person really worth it on any given week is George Kittle because he's simply the best tight end in the league. And even when he's playing through injury like he was last week, nobody stands a chance against him. So, yeah, he's a go-to. And now they've got Emmanuel Sanders. Before, I was saying avoid all receivers for San Francisco. Not anymore. Emmanuel Sanders is a bona fide number one every week starter in this offense. He already knew the offense when he came to town. Okay? That's the key here. Rich Scangarello, the offensive coordinator for Denver, where Emmanuel Sanders came from, is running the exact same freaking offense. There might be some terminology tweaks, but I really doubt it. Okay? Scangarello is so young as a coordinator. I don't see him making all those kind of differentiations. And that's really helpful for Sanders, okay? He came into this offense already knowing what the heck needed to go on. And now he just has a quarterback that can actually frickin' do it. That's got to be great for him. Jimmy G now has a legitimate receiving threat. So great for Jimmy G. Not good news for Seattle fans, okay? So San Francisco did exactly what they needed to at the trade deadline. They got their dude at a position that was pretty weak on a team that's pretty damn strong. So where's the hole? They're getting their strong offensive line back together. McGlinchey and Staley coming back from injury. So where's the weakness in this team? They had to deal with Jimmy G's injuries for a few seasons, running back injuries for a few seasons. And because of that, they built up so much depth on the roster dealing with those things that now that Jimmy G's healthy, they're just a damn juggernaut. Okay? Nobody matches up well against this offense. Just nobody. Seattle's a better defense than most. They're still not going to match up well against this offense. Russell Wilson's going to be able to pull a few rabbits out of his hat this week, but going up against this defense, it's not going to be enough. It just won't be. Now, this defense will not be able to just lay their ears back and go after the quarterback like they have against quarterbacks that aren't mobile. And don't think what Arizona was able to do to this defense is lost on Russell Wilson's offense. They're going to be able to move the ball. They're going to model their game plan after what Arizona did on Thursday Night Football last week. And they're going to show some people what they can do against this defense. But the defense is still very solid. They have very good personnel. They lost Quan Alexander. Big blow. But yeah, they still have a great defensive front. They still have a great defensive secondary. I don't think it's going to be as big of a difference. But if anybody's going to take advantage of it, it's Russell Wilson with Chris Carson behind him. So, fantasy football-wise, you probably need to start both defenses because there's really not many defenses in the league that are that great for fantasy. And both of these teams are good, solid defensive units in fantasy football. So I don't see it being an offensive powerhouse game. I don't. So the Tyler Lockett's of the world, Dante Pettis's, the Deebo Samuel, they're not really going to go off. DK Metcalf, no. I don't see any of that happening. I see the game plans being rooted in the running back, and that's going to benefit Chris Carson. I think Russell Wilson's going to have a game where you need to start him. I think Jimmy G is now a must-add in everybody's fantasy football league. Now that he has a legitimate receiver in Emmanuel Sanders, I think you need to add him to your roster. Don't start him this week. We need another week to see what he's going to be scoring-wise with Sanders as an option. And especially seeing him up against a quality defense like Seattle will go a long way to showing you what he can be against the scrub teams. So, yeah, I think Emmanuel Sanders is a good wide receiver 3, bordering on a wide receiver 2. I think the same way about Tyler Lockett. You need to start George Kittle every week because he's George Kittle. Out of the running backs in San Francisco, my money's on Coleman doing the most damage this week. He's just better suited for the defensive matchup than Breda is. And Chris Carson's just the workhorse of Seattle. So you got to put him out there. He's not going to have a great game because he's going up against the best defense in the league. But if they're able to put together things the way that Cardinals were able to put together last week, maybe does have a good game, I think Russell Wilson does just because he's Russell Wilson. And again, pick up Jimmy G. Don't necessarily start him. So that's what I have for fantasy. As far as the spread goes, San Francisco's 6-point favorites. I think that's ludicrous. This is going to be a close game. They're likely to win, but it's going to be a close game. So I got them by 3. So if I had to bet this game, I'd bet Seattle to beat the spread. As is, they're 5-3 against the spread? Oh, no, they're 4-5. So San Francisco is good against the spread. Seattle isn't, but in this game, I think Seattle beats it. Hit up the rest of my videos for more fantasy football advice, and check out the Nerdy Sports Fan Weekly for an updated power ranking.